professionally and romantically, paint.
Well, this week marks the 50th anniversary of the CenterPoint Energy Dayton Air Show, major staple here in the area. And that is why we wanted to catch up with the team over at the air show, learn how you should prepare for their trip to Vandalia this weekend. Lydia Bice live in studio now. So what advice did they share with you today?
That's right. So today I spoke with Sheila Wallace, Media Relations with the CenterPoint Energy Dayton Air Show, and we covered where to buy tickets, where to park, and of course, a big topic of conversation is how hot the temperatures are going to be this week and how you should stay safe and healthy going into the big weekend. Organizers say to prepare ahead of time by wearing light-colored clothing and hats and by reapplying sunscreen. And in case of an emergency, you will be taken care of.
We have emergency room doctors, we have paramedics, we have nurses, we have them available to be able to get through the crowd easily for you.
So for those who don't already have tickets, where can they buy them?
So you can buy tickets at the gate this weekend for $35 each, or for a discount, head to your local Kroger where you can get $3 off each ticket. Gates open on Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Back to you.
Lydia, thanks. Let's give you a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. It's hot and there's been some strong pop-up storms today.
Yeah, some wind damage reported across the area too. With this heat and humidity, it doesn't take much for a storm to just really get going, bringing down some heavy rain and gusty to damaging winds. We had some intense cloud to ground lightning as well. But notice how things have really fallen apart, and that's the thing with these storms during this type of heat. They pop up quickly and they dissipate pretty quickly. So not much going on right now. We do have a few showers, as you can see, through parts of Warren County. Can't rule out a pop-up shower or storm for the rest of this evening, but a lot of the heavier activity looks to be done with, and it's just hot now and very humid. We have a heat advisory in effect for our area. This is until 8 p.m. Friday, so persistent heat. We're expecting heat indices climbing to around the century mark, not just for what we had today, but for the rest of this week. So plan on keeping yourself cool. We have rain-cooled temperatures around, but it's still very hot. 91 in Wapakoneta, 90 in Dayton. Dew points hanging out in the 70s. 82 is our dew point in Lebanon right now, so it is feeling sticky, and it feels like 105 in Springboro currently. So it is a hot and steamy evening. It will stay warm and muggy overnight with lows dropping into the lower 70s. Have a look at the rest of the week coming up.
Let's give you a live look now at East 5th Street, where you can see a tree has fallen onto a home after the storms. Now, luckily, nobody was hurt out of this. Looks like that tree rolled off the roof, didn't cause too much damage to the roof itself. The area, though, is taped off to anyone, so you avoid that area going near that tree. The heat and storms causing power outages across the area. Live look now at the AES outage map. Nearly 2,000 people right now without power. The Versailles area looks like it has the most outages. AES says crews are out right now trying to restore that power. Even during extreme temperatures, many people still have to work outside. For first responders, the heat does not stop them, of course. Chelsea Sick spoke with first responders on how they prepare.
Our emergency crews don't have a choice but to be out in the heat on days like this one. In fact, Cincinnati Assistant Fire Chief Matt Flagler says they get more calls when it's this hot. It's why it's so important for their recruits to train in this heat. So we stopped by Cincinnati Fire Department's training facility in Northside earlier today, where crews spent the morning putting out fires in a building. Training instructors say crews all have to watch out for each other when they're doing that training. When they're out at a real fire, they make sure to have more people on scene so firefighters can get breaks more often. They also get resources like water out to the scenes faster. Instructors stopped outdoor training earlier in the day because of the heat, but instructor Keno Henry says it was warm enough this morning for trainees to experience fighting fires in extreme heat.
As a firefighter, you accept the heat is going to come with what you're doing, because most of your job, when you're actually doing it, you're going to be doing it under stress, duress, and heat. So training at these types of temperatures sometimes kind of gets you ready and makes you understand where you are as far as your training, and kind of make you more aware of what you may need to do for yourself to be ready when that actual real call comes in.
And now it's Chelsea Sick reporting. So with the heat, it's vital to stay on top of keeping yourself safe and cool. Some simple advice to help you beat the heat. First and foremost, hydrate. Drink a lot of water. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water on hot days like this. And also take breaks, whether it's inside or even just the shade. If you stop sweating, this is a problem. It's a major sign that something is wrong. You may need to call for medical help. And of course, wear sunscreen. Reapply it as much as possible to protect yourself from any kind of burns. And many communities around the Miami Valley right now, they are opening cooling centers to help people get out of the heat. In Montgomery County, all of Dayton's recreation centers, they will be open. You can see them all listed here on your screen. Right now, the city also says there are numerous parks with splash pads as well. And you can find a full list of all of them in the Miami Valley and their hours right now. Just go to Dayton247now.com. You can look for this story on the homepage. That web story also has Ohio's Emergency Management Agency's full map of all cooling centers across the state if you plan on traveling this week. Right now, police investigating after reports of a shooting in Harrison Township today. Now, that happened just after 4 this afternoon, 4000 block of Sailor Street. It's unknown right now if there are any injuries or what led up to all of this. As we learn new information, we'll update you on air and online. Again, at Dayton247now.com. Dayton police taking to social media today to announce this man is in custody for vandalism. Jack Gayhart was previously arrested for destroying property back in May, but was released from jail. Police say during that time, he's been recorded committing additional crimes. Well, he's now back in jail, all on charges of vandalism and criminal damaging, and they say more charges are possible. Right now, there's a push to raise Ohio's minimum wage to $15. Supporters are trying to get this on the November ballot. Opponents, though, have some pretty big concerns. Daryl Rowland breaks it down.
D'Amica Watkins didn't hesitate when asked to sign a minimum wage petition.
We work hard, and we need money to pay our bills and to survive.
Watkins is a restaurant server.
The pretzels are really good.
A group that's in the crosshairs of the debate.
And that comes with German potato salad, unless you'd like something different.
The minimum wage for workers receiving tips would jump from $5.25 an hour to $15. Non-tipped workers would climb to $15 per hour from their current $10.35. Opponents say many servers actually would wind up with a paid cut under the new setup because people would tip less.
I don't see how. You will get tipped if you're good. You got to be good.
There you are, my friend. Thank you, sir.
About a mile away, longtime Schmidt's Sausage House server Constance Kane was asked if a $15 an hour minimum wage would be good or bad for her.
That is a bad thing. That is less than what I make now.
Schmidt's servers average $37 an hour with tips, so the minimum wage would represent a $22 an hour pay cut.
We are very lucky here. We do a great business. But again, if this were to pass, a lot of servers would leave. They would have to leave. They wouldn't be able to make enough money to support their families.
That was Daryl Rowland reporting. We got a story now from our partners at the Dayton Business Journal. The city of Carlisle preparing for the construction of some high-demand business condos. The city recently approved 2 land sale agreements totaling more than $325,000. A 5-acre site was purchased to construct 4.
Or call us today. Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
As a massive heat wave moves east, winter is still alive and well in Montana. Multiple lenticular clouds hovered over Reno Sunday night. They form as wind blows over mountains or other obstructions in perfect temperature and moisture conditions. And central Illinois was treated to a spectacular double rainbow. And when the timing was just right, a lightning bolt too.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
So tomorrow marks 1 year since the Titan submersible imploded, killing all 5 people on board. The U.S. Coast Guard is now saying the investigation is taking longer than expected. Now, it was slated to take a year, but the planned public hearing to discuss their findings isn't going to happen for another 2 months. Dayton real estate billionaire Larry Connor is planning a voyage to visit the Titanic wreckage in a 2-person submersible in 2026 to try and prove it can happen safely. Ukraine's peace summit is now over, but there is still no clear path forward for an end to the war with Russia. Dozens of countries at the summit in Switzerland issued a statement that says any agreement to end Russia's war must be based on Ukraine's territorial integrity. A handful of countries, including India, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, did not sign the final document. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for more countries to take action.
It's important that all participants of the summit supported Ukraine's territorial integrity, because will be no lasting peace without territorial integrity.
Russia was not invited to the conference. President Vladimir Putin insists that Ukraine give up 4 regions Russian forces occupy. Israeli military leaders say they want to clear up any confusion about their announcement regarding a tactical pause for aid distribution.
We are fighting Gaza, we are fighting Rafah, and we created this safe pass in those hours to make sure that the distribution is ongoing. But it doesn't stop us fighting simultaneously in Rafah and other places in Gaza against Hamas.
The Israeli Defense Forces had announced that until further notice, they would hold off on fighting during the day along a main road in southern Gaza. The pause is supposed to help free up the bottleneck of humanitarian aid deliveries after Israeli forces shut down Egypt's Rafah border crossing last month. IDF officials still say the #1 priority is to dismantle Hamas. All right, so back in our area, it was kind of an interesting weather day. It was obviously very hot, but also you had some pop-up storms as well.
Right, those cooled us off a little bit, but it's still very muggy.
Miserable.
Right, very much so. If you didn't get one of those pop-up storms, then it's been miserable pretty much all day long. And it was actually the first 90-degree day of the year, topping out at 92 in Dayton. Feeling, of course, hotter than that. Average first 90-degree day between June 8th and June 14th, so we're actually a little bit behind what we typically see for that first 90-degree day. But outside of that, it was hot, it was humid, and this heat is going to persist for us. So heat and humidity, we have southwesterly winds or southeasterly winds even across the area, bringing in that heat and humidity for our region, and that's going to allow those pop-up thunderstorm chances remain for our area. So we'll stay quiet overnight, but notice by tomorrow afternoon, highs upper 80s. We'll see a decent amount of cloud cover, but we'll also have some of those pop-up storms by tomorrow afternoon. We'll keep the same trend for our Wednesday afternoon pop-up shower storm. Temperature-wise will be in the 90s, but these will be our humid days. So we keep that humidity tomorrow, Wednesday. Heading into our Thursday, Friday, we actually start to see just a little bit moisture or a little bit less moisture at play, which means our humidity is going to go down and our temperatures are going to be allowed to climb even more. So upper 90s in the forecast Thursday, Friday, close to records of 98 both of those days. And then it does look like by next week we will see a little relief in the way of a cold front, dropping our temperatures back into the 80s. But other than that, a very hot and sticky forecast over these next 7 days.
Bryson DeChambeau won his second U.S. Open title yesterday. The 30-year-old delivered another unforgettable finish at Pinehurst. Now, DeChambeau got getting up and down from 55 yards in a bunker, considered one of the toughest shots of the sport. The two-time champ says hearing chants for his opponent, Rory McIlroy, helped him to win.
Because it gave me the knowledge, like what I had to do. And I just, every time I got over the ball, I said, just focus, focus. You've done this before. You can do it again.
DeChambeau says this win is a dream come true. He becomes the 5th player, 30 or younger, to win the U.S. Open more than once since World War II. And some of the biggest names in the history of Ohio State football getting together to play a different sport, and they did it to support one of their own. Dave Holmes was there and gives us a look.
Well, hello there from the Ohio State University Golf Club. Very cool event going on today, a charity golf fundraiser to benefit a charity started by Chris Fields. Chris is a former Ohio State wide receiver, and a year ago, he tragically lost his brother James to brain cancer. So Chris has decided to do something about it. He started his own charity to raise money that will help financially benefit cancer patients and their families. And he put out a call to Buckeye Nation, and the Brotherhood showed up. We saw current head coach Ryan Day, former head coaches Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel, former players like Archie Griffin and Terry McLaurin, everyone coming out today to play golf and raise money for Chris's cause. A very special day here at the golf course for Buckeye Nation, especially for those who will need that money the most. At the Ohio State University Golf Club, I'm Dave Holmes.
When kids are fed, they are fueled to thrive. But for many kids that rely on schools for their meals, summer can be a big challenge. That's why we're once again partnering with Feeding America for Sinclair Care's Summer Hunger Relief. If you scan that QR code, you can help provide meals for children and families right here in our area.
So we know the heat is at play, but we also are tracking that humidity. So dew points hanging out in the 70s, some 60s. 82 our dew point in Lebanon. That is extremely high. It feels just soupy as you head out the door. Other than that, it is a very muggy day, and that mugginess continues on. So I mentioned this earlier, but if we take a look at our muggy meter here, it'll indicate that our most humid days are going to be these next couple of days. So pretty much oppressive humidity right now. We'll keep that trend very humid for our Tuesday. Wednesday, again, very high dew points in the 70s, but by Thursday, Friday, we do start to see those dew points lower, almost down into the tolerable area. But that being said, factoring in the fact that it's going to be in the upper 90s, it's going to be hot nonetheless. So mid 90s feels like temperatures tomorrow, again, close to the century mark even. Same thing for our Wednesday and our Thursday. And then Friday, as far as our temperatures go, we actually start to see those climb just a little bit more, even with less humidity at play. So plan on it just being steamy for the rest of the week. I'll take a look at that weekend forecast coming up.
The Rail Festival is back at Carillon Park this weekend, what you can expect if you plan to head out. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's what I know.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
All right, so this weekend you have the ultimate train experience at Carillon Park. Nathan Edwards shows us how you can attend.
If you grew up loving trains, this event is perfect for you. Out at Carillon Park, they're having their annual Rail Festival this Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, all you gotta do is pay regular admission to get into the park, and then you can head in there and enjoy some train rides. Look how happy that little family looks. Here's a post on their Instagram account showing some of the displays that they have there. They also have some historical exhibits, and that's the brand new train. They'll give you rides all around Carillon Park. And then also, in addition to Saturday, Sunday as well, from 11 to 4 p.m. And look at those happy kids. Those are some of the model trains as well. $5 rides on the Carillon Park Railroad, and then the mini rides are free. So head on out there to Carillon Park. They're going to have a concert band at 2 p.m. each day. Plenty of fun things to do and plenty of ways to experience Dayton's history while checking out some cool trains while you're at it. Back to you guys.
Heat and humidity continuing across the area. Here's a look at tomorrow. So we start out very warm, very muggy. One thing to point out here is during the day, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds, but it's going to be fairly cloudy. And we'll also see those pop-up rain and storm chances during the day tomorrow as well, especially about the same time we saw those storms for today. So can't completely rule out a shower or thunderstorm popping up across the area with that heat and humidity continuing. And I just realized that I did not take that Father's Day off, but hey, celebrate it again.
You can always celebrate.
Every day is Father's Day.
That's right.
Mid-90s tomorrow, hot and humid, and then upper 90s later this week. So the humidity goes down slightly. That will allow temperatures to climb even more. Better chances for pop-up storms Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it will just be hot and sunnier for later into the week. But be extra careful. This is a very persistent heat, so just take caution out there.
Yeah, and if you want to celebrate Dad tomorrow, you have my blessing.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
Right.
All right, that does it for us.
The exclusive